Stanius from Forest Lake, excuse me. Betzold's from Farmington. He's got it. He fires that one wide. Inside of 4.5 to go here in the first period. 2 unanswered goals to open things up for this Minnesota squad. Now Great Lakes trying to find their way back. Quick shot. That one sails wide right off the stick of Earhart. He's going to have to get into the act. One of the top 3 scorers for this Great Lakes team. Came into the game with 3 goals and an assist. Had 2 yesterday in a single game. Core drags it across the Great Lakes blue line outside the circle. The man on his hip. Minnesota trying to set up in the Great Lakes zone, but have it picked away along the near side boards. Long shot, and that one's going to go home. Lunenborg tried to pluck it out of the air on the offering from Landon Carpenter. Make that Delosier, excuse me. Dalton Delosier out of Westlake, Ohio. A sniper shot from just inside the blue line to make it 2-1. Delosier just got anywhere near the zone, fires the shot. Now a dangerous wrister coming back at Michelson, and he gloves this one off to his left. That's Delosier's first point of the tournament. Becomes the 12th different goal scorer for Great Lakes. Only 5, though, have scored more than once. So we're under 3:20 to go here in this first period. Quarterfinal number 1 of the show 2018. Puck slides all the way down the ice for the icing. Well, we've had us some action. Only 1 penalty so far. Great Lakes has gone 0 for 1 on the power play. Oh, excuse me. You say Samuel Anderson. All right, so Anderson gets the goal. That's his second. Anderson scores. Either way you slice it, it's 2-1. Taken away by Minnesota at their own goal line. Bronshausen moves it across, just across the Great Lakes line. Pass across ice, intercepted by Schumacher. Drayton Schumacher outside the circle. Takes the wide turn into the far corner, looking for some help, sets it up. His centering pass, deflected. Stanius able to backhand it out of the zone. Goes up ahead to Dylan Otten. Otten flying in. Otten straight away, leaves a defender in his wake and fires and scores. It's a 2-goal lead again for Minnesota. As Dylan Otten scores for the 5th time in the tournament, here with 2:11 to go. Minnesota takes it right off the draw. Quick shot, knocking off of Michelson. He popped it into the air, and it was cleared away by his defenseman in front. We're under 2 minutes to go in this first period. Had 4 goals scored, but a 3-1 lead for Minnesota. Hackett goes deep into that corner. Loose puck. Lunenborg falls on top of that. So Otten strikes again. His 5th of the tournament. And his 2nd against Great Lakes. He scored the capper that made it 6-1 back in the first meeting. Makes it 3-1 right here. It was a 3-goal first in that game as well. That was our score after 1 at Mariucci. Got 85 seconds to go in this first period here. And Guile moves it out of the corner. Not quite clear to the zone. It did stay in for Great Lakes. Loose puck, though, picked up on the near side. Banged off the boards it goes. Kulchin back to Schulte. Finds some space with Guile on the far side to Otten. Cade Sherman was there, but traffic created by Great Lakes, and they take the puck away. It's Sable. His shot deflected. Allows Guile to catch up to us. We're under a minute to go. In the corner, Sherman. Sherman, dangerous pass, sniping in front of the net. Feeds all the way back out, and Lunenborg has that pass come right back towards him in the form of a shot. He makes the save. It's 3-1 still. That was Corbin Gephardt for Great Lakes. He's hunting his first points of the tournament. Betzold takes the draw. 35 seconds to go in the period. Schumacher fighting for possession. Trayton Schumacher with a goal and assist so far this week. He's upended as the puck slides around to the far side, taken away off the boards by Core. Core moves it up to Betzold. Betzold into the Great Lakes zone between the circles. Betzold looking for an angle, and he sends it on the stick of Michelson. Centered right back out in front for Core. He was sitting on the doorstep, and Michelson turns him away as well. 9 seconds to go. Betzold with speed, right back to the top, turns the corner, down the slot he goes, and he left it right between the circles, poked away with 1 second to go. No shot coming, and it will be 3-1 after one. Minnesota and Great Lakes with Trayton Schumacher getting tangled up with Gavin Core there at the end. It's a 3-1 lead for Minnesota as we go to our first intermission here from the Bloomington Ice Garden at the North American Hockey Showcase on Youth Hockey Hub. Three-1 after one, quarterfinal number one of the North American Hockey Showcase, the show 2018, presented by Youth Hockey Hub. And Minnesota's got a lead. Great Lakes, the opening draw, skating left to right. They put it right in the lap of Owen Lunenborg. Lunenborg stopped 8 of the 9 shots that he saw in that first period. Just 6 shots on goal for Minnesota, but they came away with 3 goals. Stanius, Guile, and Otten all scored. Otten and Stanius both on breaks with some space. So it hasn't taken the set offense for Minnesota to build their 3-1 lead. The goal on the other side for Samuel Anderson out of Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Minnesota coming right back to it. Gavin Core up on this near side. Outside the circle, he lost it, pops out to the blue line where it's pushed up ahead by Anderson. Anderson moving it up to Nunog. Nunog outside this circle, floats to the goal line, trying to center, instead hangs on to the pass. Now he does, center it right back out in front. Minnesota skater there to take it away. Keep it from harming Lunenborg at all as it's pulled up the ice by Austin Gibson. Gibson takes it all the way into the Great Lakes zone before he dumps it back to Henry Ahmed. Ahmed picks it up again outside the circle, walking along the goal line he goes, dives back out in front, flips that backhander too high. Bangs off the glass. So we've gone 1:06 into this second period. Ahmed trying to put more pressure on right there at the circle, but it's just tipped back. That one played in front and held by Lunenborg, so it went on net, and he had Samuel Anderson bearing down on him. Well, both of these teams with common wins over North America and USA, and then, of course, the only difference, the win head-to-head for Minnesota over Great Lakes. It means there's losses to Great Plains and New England for both. And losses to Rocky Mountain. Great Lakes did that in regulation. Minnesota lost to Rocky Mountain in overtime. So gained an extra point there, but still finished in 4th place out of pool play, behind Great Plains, New England, and Rocky Mountain. Lentz walking along the blue line. Never quite could enter it in. Taken away. Slivko had a chance for Great Lakes. Just kept it alive, and it comes right back down to Budash. Budash out at the circle. Tangled up with the defenseman. And never could control the puck. Great Lakes, though, keeping the pressure on. Budash, a chance to hack at a bouncing puck. Stops and settles down at the feet of Kellen Conway instead, and finally bounces away and towards the wall and out of the zone. Minnesota at neutral ice, fighting for possession. Taken away by Johnson. Johnson had it for a moment. Now Sable takes it back for Great Lakes. He's got Budash to his left. Dumps that one into the zone, turns and goes and makes a change. Nunog catches up to it, down below the goal line. He fires it back out towards the blue line where it's not held in by Delosier. Back to Nunog. Everybody's out. He's back in, straight down the gut. Tries to fire that shot. Cade Sherman got a piece of it right away. 12:20 to go. 3-1 your score. Minnesota the lead. Quick shot from out near the blue line. That was deflected early. The rebound chance. Fired just wide. Minnesota trying to keep the net clean in front of Owen Lunneborg. Getting physical right there in front of the crease as the puck is on the near side. Now flying in, Schumacher standing up on his skates, but that one flying past his heel. And the goaltender was pulled because there was a penalty upcoming. So there it was, missed the arm in the corner. And eventually the puck touched up. That's why the goaltender had dragged off with 11:53 to go, and it's the second power play opportunity of the game for Great Lakes. They could not score on their first. Everything's been even strength so far. We're scoreless here in the second, but it's a 3-1 lead for Minnesota. Jacob Guile calling for the cross-check. Ante behind his own net. Pushes it right back out, but it ends up on the stick of Gibson. We saw a tremendous penalty kill from Minnesota the first time. There was one chance. It was turned over in the zone early in that power play for Great Lakes, and they never really got it back. Minnesota trying to do the same here as Otten tries to pull it off the boards. Spinning, Nunog able to push it back towards the blue line. It was caught underneath Sherman and now taken away by Anderson. Anderson from the circle, his shot, rather his pass deflected, intercepted. It was on the stick of Dylan Otten, who loses an edge. And the puck to Nunog, far side, fired in towards the net. Otten chases it down at the circle. We come up on a minute gone here in this power play. 10:50 to go in the second period. Sherman through some traffic, winds his way out past the blue line. Otten pushes it up ahead. Otten maintains. He's got Sherman behind him. Otten takes the shot, deflected, and a hard shot deflected by the defenseman, who's going to feel that one right on the left leg. Otten's going to go get a change. Looked like Budash took the brunt of that. Excuse me, that was Delosier who took the brunt of that one. He gets off, so back to 5-on-4. 29 seconds to go here on this power play. Oran can't hang on to possession, turns into a shot, stopped and saved by Lundborg. Bouncing back down, he keeps the clock moving. 15 seconds to go in the second power play of the game so far for Great Lakes. Banged off the boards, and it was just out of the zone. So Gephardt had teammates in offsides, 11 seconds to go in the power play. 10:03 to go here in the second period. Same format as we've had throughout the week. Your 15-minute periods, they'll resurface between the second and the third as we roll through the quarterfinals. And the penalty expires. Guile out of the box. He'll go change. As Minnesota takes it with Betzold. He dumps it behind. Long shot, deflected up in the air by Michelson, and he makes the save. Minnesota bearing down on him with a 2-goal lead already, and he stands up. Quick shot. Ahmed fires it in towards the net. Redirected and taken away by Gavin Core. Core pushed it out to the blue line. Back to him, banging off the boards. Core turns the corner. He's got Betzold down towards the goal line. Dumps it off to him behind. Betzold, nifty skating up in front. Ahmed near the goal line, goes opposite side instead. Shot taken, saved by Michelson. Oran out of Mendota Heights, sucked down near the goal line. He received that pass from the dancing Betzold and fired it into the pads of Michelson. Minnesota never had a shutout in this tournament. What they've given up right now, the 1 goal, that was their low as far as defense goes. And that happened against Great Lakes. Betzold walking along the goal line, maintains possession, and finally is turned away on that backhand. Michelson stayed right with him, back down the ice. Slivko fired that one off the pads of Lunenborg. And we go end to end as here's Ahmed. Ahmed trying to skate past 2 defenders. Puts one on his hip and ends up down on the deck. Skating with the puck, though, able to pick it up, and we're actually going to get a penalty. And so Ahmed skating hard, and that draws the penalty. First of the game on Great Lakes. Great Lakes has gone 0 for 2 on the power play. Tristan Heerly caught up with Ahmed. And so 5-on-4 for the first time for Minnesota, already leading it 3-1 with 8:38 to go here in this first period. Quickly taken away by Great Lakes. Budash had it for a moment. Now it goes back to Tucker Johnson. Johnson going wide as he's got Bronshausen back towards the middle. Floating below the net is Stanius. That pass intended for Stanius, but he was falling down to the deck, so that leaves Guile to track it down and just try to slap it into the blue line. And so it's turned over back to Great Lakes. Budash, shorthanded. He'll fire the shot. That one rising and high up over the glass or to the glass. Bounding around to Minnesota. Great Lakes, though, maintains possession. Getting another look. Shorthanded at Lunenborg. Taken off the stick. Flown back into the zone. Guile has to track this one down in behind his own net. Minute 10 to go in the power play. Change for Great Lakes, so some space to work now. Johnson had it poked away. Bronshausen tried to dump it back towards Gibson. Guile was the last line of defense there. He pushes it ahead, but it's taken away by Delosier. Back on the near side it goes. Popped up. And back over Guile's stick, so he tracks it down on the near side. Puck to Bronshausen. Trying to find Tucker Johnson. Now he's got it along the near side boards. And offsides as Stanius couldn't come to a stop. Slipped himself into the zone. 41 seconds to go. Neutralized faceoff with 7:22 to go. USA and Rocky Mountain in that other quarterfinal going on right now on rink 2. And North America and Great Plains will be our next one. A pretty good matchup right here. A matchup we saw yesterday, in fact. And North America, though they did not win a game in pool play, and they forced Great Lakes to score late in that one as Lunenborg has that one hop up off his stick, but right there to pick it up is Chaz Lentz. 20 seconds to go in the power play. 7 minutes to go in the second period. Up to Otten. Otten with Kulchin behind. Otten takes the shot. Ricochets off the glove of Michelson. Down below the goal line. Fighting for possession. Kulchin had it for a moment, taken away by Great Lakes. Moving up shorthanded with just 2 seconds to go before they're back to full strength. Earhart fires it in on Lunenborg. Stop made. Earhart after the rebound, and he dragged too far below the goal line. Couldn't get that second backhander on net. 6.5 to go. Wrapped around again. Nobody on the backside as Lunenborg slid over to that far post just in time. Great Lakes trying to hold it in and does along that far side blue line. Long shot. That one banging hard off the boards. Wrapping around to the near side. Picked up by Delosier. Back to Minnesota. Got a break if they want it. Get it ahead to Otten. Otten was already into the zone, as was Kulchin on the far side. So just not enough settled possession back near the red line to be able to move that break towards the Great Lakes blue line. 3-1 lead for Minnesota. Trying to live to play another game here at the show. The draw is taken by Nunog. Nunog sprinting ahead past the defense. Nunog, late move, and he beats Lunneborg for a 3-2 game. Man on a mission off the draw for the 5th time in the tournament. Mateo Nunog will score, and he'll make it a 1-goal game with just under 6 to play. It's your only goal of the second period so far. Great Lakes again pressuring. That one popped up. Dropped dangerously out in front of the crease. Ahmed had it in the corner. Minnesota trying to hang on to it. It's poked back out towards neutral ice. Anderson takes and dumps it all the way into the zone with 5:20 to go. Minnesota still work to do. Felt they've controlled this game at certain points, but now just in a 1-goal game. That long sniper shot early, that was huge. And offsides. Betzold thought he had ducked back out of the zone. A couple of offsides here of late for Minnesota. Stopped up some potential drives towards the net. They were outshot in that first period 9-6. So despite the 2-goal lead they had, it was Great Lakes putting a little more pressure on. Budash as it poked off of his stick. Right back into the Minnesota zone. 1-goal game with 4:50 to go. There's a pass out of the zone, and everybody stays onside that time as Stanius takes it in on the far side. He's got Bronshausen also down there with Tucker Johnson. Bronshausen tripped up in the corner. Fight for the puck. Poked free and taken away. Trayton Schumacher fires it out to Budash. Budash and Schumacher working in. Budash takes that shot. It was deflected down. What a sliding save by Lunneborg. Deflection right onto the stick of Schumacher. He fires it quick one time. And Lunneborg slides right over and makes the save. Somebody upended at the end of the play. Schumacher's been a part of some of those scuffles here throughout the week. And he was a part of a golden opportunity that forced a beauty of a save from Lunneborg. Keeps it 3-2. Great Lakes with possession. 4:10 remaining. Centering pass, intercepted right in front of the crease. Minnesota able to work it out. Chaz Lintz up to Kulchin. Kulchin with Otten coming in with him. Kulchin stick handling his way through the circle. Fires that shot wide. Kulchin dotting his way through traffic. Loose puck coming out to Earhart. Earhart around the circle. Dives inside a defender. Puts it on the backside. A beautiful feed, and Nunog with the finish. We're all tied with 3:47 to go in the second. 2 unanswered goals, both scored by Nunog. That one created by Wyatt Earhart. The only goals of the period belong to Great Lakes. Minnesota battling in on Michelson. He made the save falling backwards. And he draws the whistle to bring play to a stop. So Earhart's second assist and a beauty. Perfect attack. Nunog never gave up on the play. As Earhart cut that corner so many times, they'll dive outside the post. He went straight for the net. Made Lunenborg just take at least one slide towards that near side post. Fired a perfect feed and a relatively easy finish for Nunag on the back end. This one past Schumacher, but into the zone. Tracked down by Great Lakes, sliding in behind the net. 3 minutes to go in a 3-3 tie here in the second. Popped along the goal line, out it goes. Budash fires that point blank look. Schumacher was there for the rebound. Lunenborg makes 2 saves. Minnesota trying to come away with it. Budash keeping the pressure on, knocks it down into the corner. Budash from the goal line has his pocket picked, pushed out on this near side, in on Lunenborg again, and he makes the save. The bench, though, for Great Lakes, loving the effort and the intensity and chances that it's bringing on this offensive end. Still not out of the zone. Finally, Betzold knocks it away. Just as far as neutral ice. Again, it's popped up ahead. And Lunenborg started to play that one, but it was an icing. So it's going to come back the other way. 2:16 to go in an active game. 3 of the first 4 goals scored by Minnesota, the last 2. And the only 2 so far here in this period scored by Great Lakes to tie this game at 3. So already Great Lakes ahead of what they did the first time these two teams met. They took a 1-0 lead and then saw 6 unanswered rack up against them from Minnesota. Here they've answered. Earhart dumps it right back to Sable. Sable's shot, that one deflected right back out in front. More pressure coming in before Schulte able to knock it at least to the side and outside the circle. Still pressure coming from Great Lakes. Minute 35 to go. Minnesota flips it up ahead. Knocked right back down by Cron as that one's covered up by Lunenborg. Cron's bouncing shot found its way into the left-hand glove of Lunenborg. Glanced up at the clock. 90 seconds till they get a break. Minnesota find their only goal of the period here late and regain the lead. Or will it be Great Lakes maintaining? Anderson. Anderson with the pass back out in front. It was swept at by a couple of defenders. Nobody could clear. Anderson back on the scene again, straddling the goal line. This time his pocket is picked. Lentz had it for a moment. 2 skaters hit the deck. Puck still free, middle of the circle. Minute 7 to go. Still not clear. Anderson now back out high as it's dropped down once again by Great Lakes.
There is 1 minute remaining in the second period.
Tristan Heerly held it in, but now Johnson brings it back out. Under a minute to go. Johnson to the near side corner. Wrapped around the boards on the far side it goes. Delozier able to touch it back towards the blue line. Ripped back down below the net. Minnesota had a 3-1 lead in this game. Tucker Johnson had a hat trick the first time these two teams met. He kicks that one towards the goal line, trying to recenter back out in front. Stanius can't hold. It's out on the far side to Anderson. Anderson against Stanius, just able to backhand it down towards the Minnesota zone. Only Minnesota skaters home, able to clear it out to Bronshausen. Bronshausen dumps it into the zone for Stanius. Stanius from the circle, and he'll net it. Left corner, tucking it under the shoulder of Michelson. And it's a 4-3 lead for Minnesota with 11 seconds remaining. Stanius got us started, and Stanius will finish the second with a goal and a lead for Minnesota.
Minnesota goal scored by number 25, Jack Stanius.
Beautiful shot with not much space to work with, either on the ice or with the net. And there's our horn as the puck was caught up along the far side boards. So back-to-back goals from Nunag and Great Lakes. But inside the final 12 seconds, it is Minnesota with the last blow. Jack Stanius gives Minnesota a 4-3 lead after 2. Our second intermission, they'll resurface the ice, and then we're back to finish this thriller here in quarterfinal number 1 from the North American Hockey Showcase. The show presented by Youth Hockey Hub. Period number 3 of the first quarterfinal of the day upon us here with Minnesota leading Great Lakes 4-3. The North American Hockey Showcase, the show 2018, ready to roll into a third period on Survive and Advance Saturday. 2 goals scored in the second by Great Lakes. They tied the game at 3. They've never led, but with 11 seconds to go, Jack Stanny has scored his second of the game to set the score at 4-3. 11 seconds in, quick shot on Mark Michelson. Michelson was stopped 16 of 20 shots on goal that he has seen so far. Standing up off to our right, Great Lakes, the mainly white uniforms. It's the visiting team in this one. Nunag's got 2 in the game. He's flying down the ice, dumped it back down behind for Earhart. Back to Nunag on the goal line, and it's Lunneborg who hugs that far side pipe and makes the save. Nunag and Earhart hooked up on a pretty goal back in the second. Both of Nunag's goals coming in the second period. He now has 6 for the tournament. Quickly, Minnesota back down the other way. Henry Ament turns the corner, walks along the goal line. That one was saved by Michelson. Dangerously empty on the far side, but swept away by Tristan Heerly. Heerly to the fenceman. Kept his goaltender clean with 1 minute gone here in this third period. Ament in below the goal line, out of the corner, working with Schulte up towards the blue line. Can't find him. Instead, it's swept back towards him. Betzold's out in front. Betzold open, wants the puck. Now floating everybody back as Ament dips it back down. This pass deflected, out in front. Long shot coming right in on Michelson. And he saves it away. Jacob Guile already with a goal in this game, bearing down from the blue line. That was Guile's first of the tournament earlier, back in the first period. Nearly got his second. Turned over. Back it comes for Great Lakes. Quick shot up over the crossbar. Minnesota turns it right back down through neutral ice. Austin Gibson on the far side. Worked around the net. Great Lakes takes it away. Out of the zone it comes on a pass up to the near side. Carpenter floats it back towards the middle. He was looking for Anderson. Anderson, who scored the first goal of the game back in the first period. Too strong for him. Back to neutral ice for Stanius. Stanius with a man on his right. That's Johnson. Stanius at the circle. He'll take the shot. Deflected up off the pad of Michelson and steered away. Johnson was right there but couldn't bat that puck out of the air, so it flutters wide of the net. Conway holds it in at the blue line for Minnesota. Trying to take a 2-goal lead again. Right back in front to Stanius. He slaps at it and sends it wide. Back out to the blue line. Held in. Sent back in front. That one's off the pad of Michelson. Slapped away by the defense in front. Now finally out of the zone as Conway can't hold it. It's up along the near side boards. Stopped back to Stanius. Stanius working in with Bronshausen. Bronshausen is in the middle between the circles. That pass to him. Deflected back out. Sent in from near the blue line. Deflected away and saved and covered up by Michelson. Chaz Lentz tried to fire that one and did into traffic. Stick side face-off from Michelson. 12:15 to go here in this third period. Off the draw, popped up again into his glove, and he settles that one once more. We'll do it again. Highest scoring game for Great Lakes in the tournament so far was 5 goals. That's what it's going to take right now if nothing else changes. They've shown the ability to answer in this game as Michelson makes another save as we crawl towards the 12-minute mark. Poked away on that far side. Heerly trying to gain possession for Great Lakes. All he can do is put it behind his own net. Pops back out in front. Schulte sends it down towards the crease. Bouncing puck. Sherman had a look at it. Instead, it bounds wide to the far side. Kulchin from the goal line has his pocket pick taken away by Great Lakes. Quickly up the ice it comes for Nunag. Nunag drops it back. Second pass goes to Sable and 2 wide. Nunag will chase over on the far side. Pushed back up towards the blue line for Great Lakes. Guile trying to send it out of the zone. Can't quite do it. Deflected pass. Ends up below the goal line. Nunag tries to backhand. Back out in front for Earhart. Nunag puts it back in between the circles. This one's taken away. Guile able to shovel it forward towards Sherman. Off the boards it goes for Dylan Otten. Otten's got a goal in this game. He scored the 3rd goal that made it 3-1 late in the first period. 11 minutes to go. 1 goal lead for Minnesota. Just dumped into the zone that time by Sable. He'll turn and head for the bench. 1 man down. It's Slifko for Great Lakes, creating enough havoc to maintain possession. Slifko bails out as Budash tried to pick it clean from the corner, couldn't do it. Instead, it's Core flying into the zone. Core at the circle. Steps around a defender, looking to feed in front. Has Ahmed trailing towards the net, and it's stopped and saved by Michelson. And play blown dead. 10:38 to go, 4-3 your score. That was actually it was Ahmed. It's on that far side. As the faceoff is won, slides over to Ahmed, and he knocks it home. Face-off win, put it to the right side of the net. Ahmed on the weak side. And he pushes it to the back of the net. We'll get that officially. But with 10:32 to go, it's a 2-goal lead again. 5-3 with 2 unanswered. 1 in the second late, now 1 here in the third. Betzold takes the draw again, looking for Core floating between the circles. Taps it back to Betzold. He'll take the shot straight away, deflected down. Core slides it across the ice with 10:15 to go. Bouncing towards the top of the zone. Gibson able to hold it in. Back towards the circle. Betzold again. Dives around 1 man. Puts it to Core down on the goal line. And Core thought he had it, but it's stopped and saved by Michelson. These Minnesota skaters, the forwards just planted in front of the crease. 10:06 to go. It's a 5-3 lead. Great Lakes has come back once from a 2-goal deficit. Never to take a lead. They tied it at 3 after being down 3-1.
Goal scored by number 11, Henry Amon. Assisted by number 10, Ryder Betzold, and number 17, Gavin Core.
It was Amont from Core and Betzold for the 5th goal. Here comes Earhart. He has it poked away by Conway. Outside the circle. Earhart watches it bounce up the boards behind him. Held back in by Blaine Cron. Cron will fire that shot 2 wide as Lunenborg watched it go. And back out in front. Cron with a hack at it. That was actually Sable that time. And it's Lunenborg who turns him away. Shining here, the Bloomington native. Stanius up along the near side boards. Trying to work it ahead to Johnson. Never had possession. Cron brings it back the other way for Great Lakes. Dances his way across the blue line. He's walled off. Has that one taken away. And it's poked to Conway. Conway from behind his own net. Had Stanius for a moment, but was bothered just enough. Couldn't get the pass away. Instead goes opposite side. It's slid out of the zone on the far side. Too far for Johnson. Sable. He'll catch up to that one off the stick of Earhart. Sable fires that shot. Deflected down by Schulte. Trickles down below the goal line. Conway over to pressure, and it's eventually Kolchin who takes it away. Kolchin with Stanius up ahead. Kolchin, trouble getting through neutral ice. Pounded there by Sable. Eventually poked back down into the Minnesota end. Earhart picks up the loose puck off the boards. Slides with it below the goal line, centering pass, nobody home, but it bounces back to him. Got another chance, flings it towards the front of the crease, nobody home again as it slides harmlessly past Lunenborg. Top of the circle, Stanius taps it out of the zone. Only man back to get it is Tristan Heerly for Great Lakes. 8:12 to go in a 2-goal game, and Heerly, somebody else coming in off sides, Budash. Too soon. Great Lakes 0 for 2 on the power play so far in this one. They've committed just a single penalty. Minnesota's gone 0 for 1. Delosier from the near side boards, wraps it around. In behind the Minnesota net. Budash down there to try and pick it up. Out along the boards it went. Ante fired it in towards the net. That was Heerly, excuse me. Back it comes, flying to Otten. Otten has a man to the right. It's Kolchin. Otten takes the shot, deflected down by Michelson. Was loose for a moment and swept away by Great Lakes. They'll push it out of the zone. Right there, finds the stick of Aran for Minnesota. Kolchin now. Kolchin will take it back in. He's got Otten behind. Kolchin goes wide, looks to center, does. Right back in front. Sliding goes Michelson to turn him away. Held in on the far side by Austin Gibson. But Great Lakes picks it up off the boards and sends it to neutral ice. Moran on the near side, looking to make that pass into the zone. Betzold wanted it. Instead, he'll just have to chase it. He goes far side of the net to try and pick the pocket of Heerly, and he does. Betzold ends up with it. His centering pass, bouncing along right in front, stopped by the defense once and twice as Michelson was down on the deck. Nobody could put it with any force towards the net for Minnesota to maybe make it 6-3. We're under 7 minutes to go. Hops out of the zone to neutral ice. Lentz tracking it down with Betzold back behind. Betzold spinning from the goal line, moving between the circles. He comes across his own blue line. Now crosses into the zone. Betzold with speed and too much speed. 6:43 to go. And the faceoff coming back out. Core will take the draw and win it. Turns right into the zone, leading by 2. Steps around a man, shoots and fires, sticked away by Michelson. Handle of the stick to wipe it clean to the corner. 6.5 minutes to go. 2-goal lead for Minnesota. Back on the near side. Poked out to Core. Core plays it back to Guile at neutral ice. One more step back, it goes to Schulte. Schulte up to Betzold. Betzold floating in. Betzold fires it to the far side. It's deflected and coming back for Great Lakes. They got to make a run right now. Pop something home if they want to narrow this margin and find themselves in a game late. Anderson tracks it down to the far side corner. Anderson has it poked away. Lunneborg plays it behind the net. Minnesota with this 2-goal lead. We're tied at 3. Inside of 4 minutes to go in the second period, Stanius gave Minnesota the lead with 11 seconds remaining. Stick side face-off of Lunneborg. Wrapped around the boards, far side. Minnesota trying to gain possession as Austin Gibson has it deflected. There's Nunag. Nunag tracking after it. Down below the goal line. Nunag trying to center. Finds a man with a clapping stick right up in front. Centering shot. That was Sable on the doorstep. Turned away by Lunneborg. Nunag hunting the puck again. Sable has to track it down below the goal line. Dragged to the corner and pulled out by Minnesota. Stanius up ahead of Aran. Aran with it. He'll flip it up towards the blue line, and Bronshausen was in too early with 5:24 to go. A 5-3 lead for Minnesota. Great Plains taking on North America next. New England with the bye. They'll play in the first of the 2 semifinals later on this afternoon. Face off at center ice, slapped ahead, back into the Great Lakes zone. Long chase out there for Tucker Johnson. Johnson hounded by a couple of Great Lakes skaters as we come up on 5 minutes to go. Budash moving out of the zone with Slifko. Slifko has it on the far side, turns around behind the net. Schumacher posting up in front. Slifko dips it down into the corner. Poked away as Chaz Lentz tracks it down for Minnesota. Bounces off the boards, right back to Lentz. He'll move it up to Stanius. Stanius inside the Great Lakes zone, fires that shot, and Michelson knocks it away. The other quarterfinal that started just a little bit after this one. Team USA and Rocky Mountain tied at 3. That's in the second intermission. 4:40 remaining. The winner of that one will play the winner of our next game. The winner of this one would be in that first semifinal against New England. Schulte. He and his teammates wanted a rematch of what was the nightcap yesterday. They played well against New England, did Minnesota. And then just too much from New England late in that third. What was a tight game turned into a wider spread. 4:14 to go. Bouncing puck finds its way through. Fed inside by Cade Sherman. Nobody stopped it. And Sherman's going to make it 6-3. Cade Sherman, his second goal of the tournament, unless that was tipped by somebody else on the way in. And we'll get that official call. He'd scored once. Loose puck. Lunneborg able to just shovel it aside and down below the goal line. Dylan Otten picks up the assist, so it is Sherman's second. The Rosemount forward. Makes it 6-3, largest lead of the game. Comes right now. It's a quiet third period. After they scored 2 goals to tie it early in the second period, Great Lakes has been held off the board as Sherman splits 2 defenders again. He'll fire that one in towards the net, redirected on the backside for a score. Looks like Sherman repaid the favor to Otten, and it's 7-3. That will be Otten's second of the game. Those 2 were the goal scorer and the assist on the prior goal. And now with 3:22 to go, it's 7-3 in favor of Minnesota. And a timeout for Great Lakes. What a goal. And for Great Lakes, the run toward a show title would have been a miracle run, as again, they won just a pair of games in pool play and would have had to go through New England next. But everybody alive here coming into Saturday. And right now it's Minnesota. Look to put themselves 2 wins away from a show championship. Championship game scheduled for Sunday at 8:30. 8:30 a.m. right here at the Bloomington Ice Garden. Later on today, we'll do the Continental Divide. Teams will separate into 3 different teams. A, B, and C play a continuous 3 periods. Whichever team scores the most goals in their time on the ice will be crowned Continental Divide champion. Canada versus USA. Nunag right off the draw. Nunag hunting that far side pipe. It just goes wide. They actually gave that to Sherman on the goal itself. So Sherman with back-to-back goals. Sherman the goal scorer twice. Otten an assist both times. Again, either way you slice it, it's 7-3 in favor of Minnesota. So what does Great Lakes have for the final 2.5 minutes? Betzold along the boards, flips it up near side. Dumped and held back down by Slifko. Slifko to Earhart. Earhart. He hooked up with a pretty goal with Nunag. That had him feeling good. They'd fought back from a 3-1 deficit to score back-to-back goals in the second period. But the last 4 have now been scored by Minnesota. Started with 11 seconds to go in the second period and has been capped off with 3 more here in the third as we're under 2 minutes left. Far side for Anderson. Turns the corner, tries to tuck it in past Lunneborg, who's been very good here in this third period. Lunneborg getting wide and makes another save as traffic collects in front of the net. Some pleasantries exchanged. Nobody's going to serve any time for that. So we'll settle it down with 1:43 to go. Big one coming up next with North America and Great Plains. And then your Continental Divide starting at 3 this afternoon. We'll be back into semifinal play later as the net was empty. Stanius hunting it off the rebound. It pops out to Bronshausen, and he'll fire home the empty netter to make it 8-3. Bronshausen out of Stillwater scores his second goal of the tournament. In the final 80 seconds, player down and an interference. So he popped up quickly. That's good to see. Samuel Anderson looked to be in some pain there. Time is running at this point with the 8-3 lead. Penalty taken by Schulte. No, make that Guile.
Minnesota goal scored by number 5, Cole Bronshausen, assisted by number 25, Jack Stanius, and number 7, Tucker Johnson. Having an empty net goal, 13 minutes and 34 seconds.
40 seconds remaining.
Bronshausen from Stanius and Johnson at 13:34.
Delosier fires that one in. Never made its way to Lunenburg. Poked right back out. It's an empty net again. Stanius chasing it down. He'd be hunting his third goal in the hat trick. Final 22 seconds ticking away. It will be a date later on tonight in the semifinals for Minnesota. Long pass right up in front of that empty net, and it was deflected away by Stanius. Final 9 seconds. Great Lakes trying to pull it out of trouble here and leave the final score right where it's at. Anderson will send it on its end towards Lunenburg, and celebration for Minnesota as they cap it off with 4 goals in the third period, score the final 5 goals of the game to win it by the final score of 8-3. We'll talk with one of the victorious members of Minnesota as they move on to the semifinals here of the show 2018. It's the North American Hockey Showcase presented on Youth Hockey Hub. All right, we're talking with Cade Sherman from Minnesota after their quarterfinal victory. All right, Cade, walk us through what was your last goal to make it 7-3 that kind of sent you guys to the win there.
So I got a pass for, I think, Dylan Otten, and then I went down the wing and it was 2-on-1, and then I saw my line mate Jack, and I tried to pass it over, but it hit a guy's stick and went in. So.
What do you think has been the key to you guys having some success here and getting that win and winning throughout the tournament so far?
So yesterday and today, we've been playing back taking hard and getting good offense and burying our chances.
Now, what's been the best part? Obviously, you guys got some wins here. That's got to be fun. But what's been the best part of the tournament so far?
I don't know, just playing hockey and with my friends and stuff and winning.
All right, good luck the rest of the way. We'll see you again later tonight. Cade Sherman here on Youth Hockey Hub. as they win it by the final score of 8-3. More quarterfinal action next here from the show 2018 on Youth Hockey Hub.